Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto Became the God of Wind. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, stay in tune for What If Naruto was an OPC master over an Anime King 2. And I'm also going to be posting What If Naruto got his memory sealed away. So stay tuned for that as well, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto was given a second chance, and enjoy that, guys. So yeah. Without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro. So the last time we left off, using the dragons, Naruto was able to get to the frog location. As he got to the toads, as the elder toad told Naruto a prophecy, that it will be by his choice if the world come to utter destruction, or if he will be the savior. That was something big to take in. As Naruto also saw the toad that unrolled himself, for Naruto to get the key, as he then went straight into Naruto's mouth. Some time passed after that, as Sakura was training and she got a note. She couldn't believe it was from Sasuke, as her mind was telling her to go to Snazzy and tell Snazzy what is going on with her heart. It wanted her to go to Sasuke, so that night, Sakura headed out, where she must meet up with Sasuke. The last thing she saw was Kabuto before everything went black. Some time passed after that, Snazzy couldn't believe it, as Sakura had abandoned the village. As the two Chunin guards that she knocked out told them that Sakura knocked them out and headed off after they tried to stop her, as Snazzy could not understand why would Sakura do something like this. But she had bigger things to worry about right now, as she had to worry about the meeting. Naruto was also gone and she didn't know where the hell Naruto was. He just vanished, even though they checked it and they saw a note saying that he had some personal training to do and he'll be back soon. As Naruto stayed at the Dragon Land for some time, Snazzy headed off to the meeting with Kakashi and Guy. Meanwhile, Sakura is currently working for Sasuke at the Hidden Zone where Sasuke has taken over as his own Kage. Yes, he has taken over rule. The Akatsuki dispatched their agents, as 3 of them went after Killer Bee, but Killer Bee managed to escape by tricking them with a tentacle, as the rest of them went towards the Zone Hideout, as they managed to get the ring. As Sasuke saw Itachi, he thought that Naruto had killed Itachi after what he saw in the bingo book, but now was his chance, but he still stood no chance against Itachi, as he was defeated rather easily after Itachi placed him under the Tsukuyomi. As Kabuto grabbed Sasuke, it's time they had to move now. Sasuke also had Sakura working on some projects, as some people were in some test tubes. Meanwhile at the meeting, the group got there as they started to talk, but then all out of a sudden, Onki blasted the attack towards all of them. All of them managed to escape though. By time they looked around, Onki was already gone. We then skip to the Akashic Hideout as Madara has been influencing Onki and using him the same way he used Yagura. As Kurosaki did not understand why her grandfather was going against the 4 great nations like that. As the land of Iron was surrounded by stone shinobis. As Naruto arrived, he told him that he knocked out some stone shinobis coming here because they attacked him. As Snad and everyone else sweat dropped, as he spoke to the others there, as they went to confront the shinobis outside, as Oniki and his man managed to blow a huge hole through the wall. But Naruto summoned the King Dragon as he arrived. As Naruto hopped onto his back, he was going to deal with Oniki and his main force as he flew out, while Snad and others were dealing with the other forces. When they saw him, they thought it was Minato Namikaze, but Naruto told them who he is. As the rest of them quickly jumped in front of Naruto Tsukage to protect him, because Naruto and his dragon started to fly down on them. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across to the PlayStation Injector for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Protect the Tsuchikage, yell Akisake. As he moved in front of his leader, others follow his example and move around the Tsuchikage as well. As Naruto fired off a massive wind dragon down towards him, the Dragon King also released a torrent of black flames as well. As the two attacks mixed together and created a giant black flaming dragon that was coming down towards them. As the stone ninjas went through hand sign, as several stone walls raised from the ground created a multi-level protection for their leader. Naruto combo impacted the stone wall as he started to melt all the stone path in his way. Foolish humans, did you think you could block the black flames of the Dragon King? No burn, the dragon said, as the dragon came down and flapped his huge wings, stirring the fire even more, stopping any chance of retreat they had. Cries of the suffering stone ninjas behind the wall could be heard, as the smell of burnt flesh could be smelled as well. Naruto was about to attack them as he saw a shadow burst out of the smoke. A greatly burned and bleeding Onki could be seen, thrown by his personal bodyguard, with the last force Akisake had before he fell down and died from his injuries as well. As the black flames also mixed with Naruto's powerful wind attack, the stone ninja stood no chance. With the momentum from the throne, Onki went through hand sign as his face became encased with rocks, as he enhanced the momentum of them, making them stronger as he thrust out towards Naruto. Naruto flipped off the dragon as Onki went through hand sign, particle style. Release, Naruto said, as the Dragon King had been surrounded by the strange particle technique, as Naruto quickly sent him back to the summoning realm. Seeing that he heard about the attack from Snaddy that disintegrated everything that was inside of it. Finish him, Onki yelled as the rest of the troops came up. All of them were blown away violently by a strong gust of wind, as Naruto didn't have his jacket on anymore and his two dark wings had extended from his back. As Naruto slammed his hands together, as the air around him started to become thick, as he started to cast his Kenjutsu. As the stone ninjas didn't know what was going on, they couldn't smell, sense anything anymore. As one of them heard one of their friends crying as he rushed over there. The moment he reached, a gust of wind tear right through his chest. From outside the fight, Onki watched in pure shock, as his shinobis were completely oblivious to the Namikaze movements, as Naruto was moving around like a blur and killing them with quick ease, as they didn't even seem to know what was going on. As Onki knew that was the famous Genjutsu skills of the god of wind that could not be detected or dispelled, as he cursed as many of his soldiers started to get slaughtered. Inside of the samurai fortress, inside of the base, the alliance were doing fine, as they were holding off all of the elite stone forces. The shinobis could see Naruto fighting outside of the base. Still as powerful as ever, Naruto-kun, Mei said, as she remembered his fight against Yagura. Look at him going, he's definitely that man's son, said the Raikage. Back on the battlefield, Oniki quickly ordered his men to stop their advance on the blonde, as they were just getting slaughtered. It was at that moment Kurosaki joined her grandfather on the battlefield, as her eyes widened at the countless dead bodies. She then saw Akisake. What the hell happened? She yelled, as Onki turned his head, but that was the wrong thing to do. As the Naruto blade started to glow, Onki cursed as he felt the gush of wind, but he realized that Kurosaki was right behind him. If he dodged, it would hit her. He stood there, taking on Naruto's attack, with already his weakened and broken body. The deadly wind spear tear right into his chest, as he collapsed on his knees coughing up some blood, before dropping down, flat on his back. Kurosaki dashed forward as she went over him. Old man, she said. Wake up, she yelled. He coughed up some more blood. Kurosaki, he said. Where are we? What is going on, he asked, as Naruto saw the scene in front of him, with a surprised look on his face. Meanwhile, it looks like it's time for us to go, Hidan, said Kakazu. Finally. I can finally sacrifice some people to Jashin, said Hidan with a smirk on his face. Back with Naruto as he watched, as Onki was living his last moments, held by his granddaughter. Kurosaki, you need to lead our people now. He had to stop as he started to cough up more blood. Be careful of the masked one, he said. What are you talking about, she said, tears still streaming down her face. It all started with him. The Sharingan, said Oniki, as he took his last breath before his eyes rolled over, as he went still. I'm sorry for your loss, but he left me no choice, said Naruto, as he looked over at Kurosaki. This wasn't him. he would have never acted like this. This battle, this war, it doesn't benefit the Hidden Stone in any way. I just don't understand. Did he say something to you, Naruto asked. He told me to be careful of the masked one with a Sharingan. I am not sure what he meant by that, said Kurosaki, still holding the body of her grandfather in her arms. As Naruto started to form theories in his mind, but he needed to confirm something with her first. Did he always want to have his revenge against Konoha and other nations, or did something change recently? He never liked the Leaf or its allies. That much is true. But he wasn't someone who held grudges either. Everything changed just after he received the summit for the Kage's meeting. I couldn't recognize him anymore, and he didn't listen to anyone. He was determined to destroy the Leaf from that moment. This reminded Naruto so much of Yagura, and the way he changed from a peaceful leader to a tyrant. They were so similar, it couldn't be a coincidence. I believe you, said Naruto. She looked up. I am Kurosaki. He was my grandfather. I guess I'm no Jonin anymore, since he named me his successor, she said. I am Uzumaki Naruto, Jonin of Konoha. What happened to your grandfather strongly reminds me of what took place in Kieri. Yagura, behavior also changed overnight, and I think both of them are being controlled by someone else, said Naruto. How could that be? We're talking about two Kage level shinobi here. One being a Jinchuriki and the other one being my grandfather. Two experienced fighter. Kurosaki said, not believing Naruto's assumptions. I don't know who, but it most likely has to do with the Sharingan. Those eyes hold great powers. And I suppose one of those powers could be about mind control or something close to that. I don't know what to do anymore, she said. As things were really bad now. She couldn't lead a war against the other four great nations. What was she gonna do? It's not hard, Naruto said. Do you want everyone to remember your grandfather from his actions in this meeting that doomed the Hidden Stone, or will you come back with me to clear his name and his honor, Naruto asked, as he held out his hand to her. Kurosaki looked at his hand, as she remembered her grandfather from her childhood, the one that was nice and gentle to her. He would never want the Hidden Stone to fall. And she couldn't let that happen. She have to carry on with the will. She has to make sure the Hidden Stone stays strong. As she raised her hand and took Naruto's hand, I really hope you're right, she said. I'm not even sure if the man will believe in your story. Our first priority is to stop this battle. Enough blood has been spilled already. Don't you think, Tsuchikage, said Naruto, as he tried to ease the atmosphere. Right, she said. Let me take my grandfather's body first. As she released Naruto's hand and went over, but suddenly she was pushed down to the ground. What are you doing, she said. But she realized that he wasn't looking at her. Well, what do we have here? Must be your lucky day, Hidan. The Tsuchikage's dead body, his granddaughter, and the god of wind himself. Quite a collection of high bounties, if I must say so. As Naruto did not recognize this man, but he knew that he was from the Akatsuki, judging by the clothes that he was wearing. You can have the girl in the old man's body, Kakazu, but the blonde is mine. Don't get in my way, said Hidan with a smirk on his face as he pulled his sight. Damn it, Naruto said. I never expected to run into Akatsuki members. She obviously won't abandon her grandfather's body, but I need your cooperation to end this war. There's no other choice, I have to do this too quickly. As Naruto stood back up, keep your guard up and protect your grandfather's body. I'll take care of him, said Naruto. Don't be too cocky. I will be the one to be your opponent, said Hidan. Naruto created a clone that was reinforced with half-face chakra as it stepped in front of Kakazu. Just in case Kakazu decided to step into the battle, as Naruto jumped over and landed right in front of Hidan. Hidan rushed towards Naruto like a madman, swinging at sight, as Naruto also drew for his katana. As Hidan didn't even realize that he was getting slower. As Naruto kept on dodging every one of Hidan's attack, even without his technique activated, making Hidan slower, Hidan was really weak. The fact that Hidan didn't use anything but his weapon was also a bit strange. Taking a step back, Naruto unsealed a kunai and launched it towards Hidan before going through hand signs. The kunai missed Hidan before changing direction and multiplying into 10 more as it came straight into Hidan's back, hitting several vital organs. Hidan dropped to one knee, feeling the pain in his back. But Naruto narrowed his eyes at the man. He didn't look like he was going to die anytime soon. He got back up as he reached his hand around and knocked out all of them. He then lashed out at Naruto again using his sight. It seems he has a very high tolerance of pain, Naruto thought. But his awareness, his speed, everything about him is more lacking. As Naruto jumped away, are you really a Akatsuki member? Is there really such a lack of missing ninja that they're really taking such an idiot as you, who can't even use any ninja arts? As he taunted Hidan, trying to gauge Hidan's reaction. Hidan lost his shit. "I'll kill you," he says. He launched himself towards Naruto. Naruto rushed forward as well, as he dodged Hidan's sight before creating a Rasengan, as he drive it right into Hidan's chest, ripping out a hole inside. With great force, Hidan was sent sailing away as he crashed on the ground. As Naruto watched in surprise as the man got back up. Now that was strange. "You will never be able to kill me. Jashin-sama will not allow that to happen," said Hidan. Jashin, Naruto thought. Where have I heard that name before? As Hidan came charging back at Naruto. As Naruto stood there and waited for Hidan to strike. Hidan swung inside Naruto's head as Naruto ducked. As his blade started to glow as he swished it. As he jumped away from Hidan. You think you're gonna get... Hidan stopped as he felt something. Before a long slice appeared on his neck. As his head leaned back before falling off to the ground. The clone that was left in front of Kakuzu saw the fight as he saw Hidan's head get sliced off. As Kakuzu didn't really pay that any mind, saying that the clone activate his ultimate wind control over his bloodline. As the second comma of his tattoo disappeared. "I am not sure it was wise to let your friend face me alone like you did. Don't worry though, you'll meet him soon enough," said Naruto, trying to gauge a reaction out of Kakuzu. The man didn't say anything, he simply removed his Akashic cloak. As Naruto saw the man's body, as he crouched down, threads were everywhere, like he was a rag doll sewn together. Suddenly, strange creatures started to burst from his back, as they had masks over their faces. Each entity was held together by hundreds of threads, as he had arms, legs, and a head that was covered by the mask, as four of them had a different mask, design or color. The creatures all moved out in different directions as Kakuzu went through hand signs. As the fire mask fired off dozens of fireballs towards Naruto. But Naruto could feel every single one of them as the ear in the ear. It was sensitive on his skin, he could feel the ear direction as it moved. As he simply twisted and turned, dodging each and every one of them coming towards him. As he also felt the other creatures moving around him. The wind masked and came behind Naruto and released a blast of compressed air. As Naruto simply extended his hand. The moment it made contact, it exploded as it was sucked inside his body. Naruto's control over wind was far better than anyone else. So, evading and absorbing something like this was rather easy. The two remaining entities then appear on both sides. As the creature fired off a blast of water, filling the groundwater as Naruto evaded the water bullets as they smashed into the ground. The lightning one then released a streak of lightning that teared through the electricity coming towards Naruto. As Naruto's wings extended as he flew up in the air. "Very impressive, boy. You're the first one to have evaded that combination jutsu after your first Hokage," said Kakuzu. Naruto's eyes widened at that. This man had faced the first Hokage? Furthermore, seeing his body condition, Naruto understand that he most likely had an immortality jutsu like Orochimaru. Because he's alive, and if he say he faced the first Hokage, he couldn't be a kid doing that. As Naruto also saw that each time before the creatures could fire off a jutsu, Kakuzu had to go through hand signs and call the attacks before they could fire them off. As Naruto then started descent towards Kakuzu, as Kakuzu went through hand sign as Naruto drew his katana, as his blade started to glow, but before he could slice Kakuzu, he had to quickly spin around and block Hidan's sight. As Naruto was surprised as Hidan's head was back on his body, as the clone turned to see the original Naruto, surprised as he was, as they turned to see black threads coming out of the ground where Hidan's head was sliced off. "Damn it, so you're both immortal freaks," as the real Naruto decided to use a new technique, as he placed his hands together like he was praying. "You leave me no choice. Time to get serious. Hidan, let's take him down. We can't afford to underestimate him any longer. Whatever he has in store, we can't afford to make him use it." As the both of them started to rush towards the real Naruto. "Too late," Naruto said. As suddenly, an explosion erupted where Naruto stood, blowing the both of them back violently. As Kakuzu had stuck his threads into the ground to stop himself from getting sailed away. As Hidan stabbed his sight into the ground. As the ground was rooted up and blown away. "What the hell is going on, Kakuzu?" he yelled. "How the hell should I know?" Kakuzu yelled back. As the burst of wind then dissipated. As everything settled down, Hidan and Kakuzu looked forward towards their target. As Naruto's eyes were now glowing, he had a thin green aura around his entire body. "Now, let's see the both of you fight against the wind itself," Naruto said. As this was Naruto, final form, it gave the balance of the two natures, and also yin and yang, that made him become perfect with the win. This is what he's been training so hard for, as right now, he's at complete one with the win. Hidan and Kakuzu both look at each other, trying to figure out their next move. Let's do it the usual way, Kakuzu, said Hidan. Fine, it was a mistake to underestimate him. Let's put an end to this fight. The leader won't be happy if we fail this mission, said Kakuzu. As Hidan then jumped in front of Kakuzu, as Kakuzu called off his creatures. As the one with water and lightning merged together, and the fire and wind merged together as well, creating two larger beams. As Hidan launched himself towards Naruto, as Kakuzu sent his beast forward from a safety. As Hidan started to lash out with slashes at Naruto. During their previous battle, Naruto had no problem with dealing with Hidan's speed. And in this mode, Naruto has been kicked into another gear. As Naruto's body was just moving, like the air just blowing from side to side, Hidan couldn't even land a touch on Naruto. Hidan swung his sight at Naruto. As Naruto tilted his body, the two creatures then came from the left and right. Naruto extended both of his arms and a massive wind wave exploded from them, blowing away the creatures with immense force. Hidan then rushed back Naruto as Naruto spun around, as Naruto dodged his strike and placed two fingers on Hidan's chest. Hidan stopped as he dressed back. Something was wrong, as he felt all the air inside of his lung being compacted inside of him. As Naruto jumped back a distance, as all of the air inside of Hidan's body then pushed outwards, as it exploded, sending gore and body parts everywhere. The only thing that was left from Hidan was his legs. You may still be alive from whatever immortality jutsu you may using, but let's see him patch you back together after that, said Naruto, as Hidan's body was nothing but cinders and blood. As Naruto jumped away, avoiding a combo attack from the masked creatures. As the lightning and the water beast came at Naruto, Naruto extended his arm forward. It was then a singularity appeared behind the beast and started to suck everything in. Naruto was the only one that was not moving, as the beast was being pulled back. Even Kurasuke and Kakuzu was being pulled as well, as the both of them had to quickly apply chakra to their feet so they wouldn't get sucked away. As Naruto's fist was still closed, the moment the monster was near enough, Naruto opened his hand as a blast exploded from the area where everything was being sucked into. As the creature mass was shredded and his body was torn to cinders, nothing remaining. As Naruto placed his hands together, before his entire body just disappeared into wind. As Kakuzu narrowed his eyes around trying to find the blonde, Kakuzu then saw the other creature acting weird. It looked like it was being pushed, but nothing was behind it or around it. Kakuzu tried to dispel an undetected genjutsu, but he found nothing even after he flared his chakra. The mass being was still being pushed around, but there was no trace of Naruto's presence. No taste, no smell, no nothing. This made no sense. No genjutsu could interact with a physical level on his target. Not even the Tsukiyomi, it could only attack and destroy the opponent's minds, not their bodies. So what the hell is this? Because of Naruto's newly form, his genjutsu was on a different level now. No matter what you do, you could not see through his presence. No sound as he moved around and punched his targets. Let note no heat or smell. Using this jutsu, he was able to dominate his opponent, complete 5 senses. Kakuzu then saw a faded image of Naruto appearing hidden behind a large tree, as he sent the beast towards it as the beast launched another combo attack, as the jutsu teared through Naruto. But he just stood there, as half of his body was just gone. Suddenly, he pulled out a katana and sliced right through the mask, destroying it. As Kakuzu did not understand, what Kakuzu did not know, Naruto could already create illusions in the past with his wind, but now he was on a completely different level. He could make them fully interact with their targets, using the wind around him and using the advanced wind he could control it to make things physical in it. The real Naruto then appeared in front of Kakuzu seconds later with a smirk on his face. Did you enjoy my ultimate genjutsu? Anyway, it looked like it's just you and I from now on. Kakuzu cursed in his mind, as even if Hidan was still alive, he couldn't gather those chunks of body and sew them back together, as he was left with one heart. This has never happened since that day, since he faced off against the first Hokage, and the blonde could kill him with his next attack. He was now thinking about his chances to escape and outrun a Jinchuriki. Meanwhile, with Kurasuke, the newly appointed Tsuchikage, was watching Naruto battle with the Akatsuki members. She was already impressed when he managed to fight off Hidan and Kakuzu separately, but now he was fighting the two of them together, and he completely dominated each of them. When they team up against him, she thought about joining in to help him fend them off. Don't matter if he was an S-rank ninja or not, they too were S-rank ninjas. But she didn't have to because he was completely dominating everything. She could see that he indeed deserved his title as the God of Wind. It seems like he could do absolutely everything with his wind, just like his bingo book profile said. Some of his jutsu that he showed were just out of this world. She was really impressed with his ultimate genjutsu, as she realized that the Hidden Stone could not afford to have this man as their enemy. If they remain hostile, he will become their greatest threat ever. Stopping this war and creating a peace treaty with Konoha was the #1 priority in her mind right now. Hell, after seeing what he was able to do in this fight, coming here was a big mistake and trying to attack them. They were lucky that they were even going back home alive. Back with Naruto. Naruto had his eyes on Kaze. Kaze then started to run, but not away. He was running straight towards Kurosaki. Her heart will replace one of those that the damn Jinchuriki destroyed, he said. He had changed his body structure again as a thread burst from his body. Threads then exploded from the ground right in front of her, caught her off guard, as it was too late for her to do anything. But then, she saw a white flash appear right in front of her. Harishing, she said, as all of the threads were torn to pieces in a massive wind burst. As Kaze coughed up blood as he felt a pain coming down from his stomach. And when he looked down, he realized why. As Naruto's katana had stabbed him right in his gut. When did you mark me with that damn jutsu? Kaze asked, not remembering any close contact with his opponent. I didn't mark you. She's the one I marked, said Naruto as he looked at Kurosaki. She quickly understood. When you took my hand to help me stand up. Precisely, Tsuchikage Dano, said Naruto with a smile. I hope you won't take it the wrong way. I meant what I said and I gave you my trust. It is for your own safety because not everyone is forgiving as I am. I wasn't sure that the others in the alliance would have given me the time to explain things to them before they tried to do anything against you. He smiled as she nodded. Now, where were we, said Naruto. Well, the last level is Kenjutsu. As Naruto clenched his sword, Kaze then dropped down as he started to scream out in pain. What did you do to me, he said, as he could barely even talk because of the undescribable pain that he was feeling. I guess I can tell you because he will die soon enough. While developing a ninjutsu of mine, I discovered that I can use microscopic wind needles to destroy my opponent's chakra system. Right now those needles are all over you, and they're quickly entering your chakra pathway, and I can control them from here, said Naruto. That is what I injected into your body when I used my katana. As he pulled back his katana and sheathed it, as Kaze collapsed down, as his chest was ripped clean. But there was no outside wounds, his body was destroyed inside on a cellular level. As Naruto sliced off his head and sealed it away. As Naruto went to retrieve Hidan's head, Hidan was still alive, even with his head. So Naruto sealed it as well. Let us go back now, Tsuchikage Dano, Naruto said. We have a war to end. I'm sure everyone is worried about us. Meanwhile, the samurai fortress, the Hidden Stone was dropping like flies, as they couldn't even get inside. As the samurais had lost over 8 men out of their forces, only 8. The Alliance Shinobi forces hasn't lost anyone yet. And the Hidden Stone members have lost over 150 already. As Stone, Shinobi was about to call for another charge when the sky suddenly darkened. The commander held up his arm, stopping the charge, as everyone saw a large dragon descending down towards them with 2 people on its back. Each side could recognize the people on the dragon's back. It was the Tsuchikage's granddaughter, Kurosaki, and Naruto Uzumaki, the god of wind of Konoha. As everyone is confused why those two weren't hostile towards each other, as the dragon landed. What now? Asked Kurosaki. I guess it's time for you to take command of your mind so we can finally stop this war. As Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder and the both of them vanished and appear right at the main gates, as most of them recognized that jutsu, the Hirishin. Meanwhile, the battlefield where Naruto left the bodies of Kaze and Hidan was the foot of Hidan and the body of Kaze, but he took both of their heads. As Zetsu came out of one of the trees, the leader won't be happy with this new development. The Kyuubi brat took down the immortal duo by himself, the White Half said, while they were making their way towards the 2 headless corpses. It's a good thing they don't know how important the rings are to us, otherwise they would have slowed down the plan. With the number of members they were able to defeat so far, as they went to collect the 2 rings. After getting the ring, true to his Phoenix fly trap appearance, Zetsu is a cannibal, as no secrets of Akatsuki will spill, because he was going to eat their bodies, as he did not left out a single part of their bodies. He then disappeared after being done with his first class meal, as he vanished underground. Back with Naruto. as Naruto was about to speak when he felt speed and a power output coming, but it wasn't directed at him, as Kurosaki was facing the other way looking toward the battlefield, as she sadly gazed at the numerous of dead bodies of the stone shinobis. She saw the face of the ninjas that were now under her responsibility, even if they weren't aware of that yet, as she never saw or felt the attack coming her way, as the Raikage's entire body was covered with lightning chakra, as he brought on his hand a chopping motion, as Naruto appeared in a blur and moved right behind her as he raised his hand that was encased in wind, as the man attack smashed right into it, but it didn't even move Naruto a bit, as the Raikage narrowed his eyes dangerously. "What is the meaning of this, Naruto-san?" he said. "What are you doing with her? And as a matter of fact, do you even know who she is?" asked A as he glared at both of them. "I know perfectly who she is," Naruto said, "however I doubt you do. She's Kurosaki, granddaughter of Oniki, and she's a newly 4th Tishikage after Oniki's death," said Naruto, surprising many people there. "Naruto-san here is right. You all need to stand down and listen to me. We all have been played by the Akashic, and I won't let my grandfather's death be in vain," she said as she looked at her troops. The temporary commander walked forward as he looked towards Kurosaki. "My lady, you must understand that we will need more proof in order to stop this battle," he said, as she pulled out a scroll as Naruto did the same, as the both of them unsealed the contents inside. As Naruto unsealed the 2 Akashic heads that he cut off, while Kurosaki unsealed Oniki's body. As the commanding officer knew those two. Well, from the bingo book, it was Hidan and Kakazu. "Those 2 match reports given to me about those who had kidnapped Yagura back in Kiri," said Mei, as she was looking at the heads. "I can testify as well. About Oniki, what are your orders?" he said, as he looked at Kurosaki. "Gather our men and fall back to the hidden stone. The battle is over. I shall stay here with 2 bodyguards. You will select amongst your men." "As you command, my lady," he says. He slowly moved back to the troops. As Naruto turned towards the other Kages, "I am vouching for her," Naruto said. "We will explain everything. And she's currently under the Namikaze clan protection until this meeting ends," he said. She was surprised, as the others nodded, that he would vote for her with that name, as 2 shinobis were selected to stay with her, 2 of their best right now, that they had carried here, and the rest of them re-fall back to the hidden stone. Moments later in the meeting room. The meeting room was furnished with new equipment, seeing that many things was damaged in the fighting, as Naruto was down there as well with them, and Kurosaki took her grandfather's place, as Mifune spoke first. "Naruto Dono," he said, "if you could describe everything that happened during the time when you left the fortress and charged into the enemy's line, and when you returned back with your dragon with the Tishikage," said Mifune. Naruto nodded as he started to explain everything, as he explained his suspicions due to the Akatsuki, and tell them about Yagura, and also Oniki's last moments when he seemed to be snapped out of his trance, as he told them what Kurosaki told him as well, as Oniki said that it was the Sharingan, the man with the mask. As Navi turned, "Kakashi, is it possible? Can the Sharingan use to program people of Oniki's or Yagura's strength?" "I would normally say no, Hokage-sama. A regular Sharingan should be able to do something like that. There are ways to counter the effects for strong people like the previous Kage of Kiri and the stone. Guy here is quite in-depth in ways to counter the effects of the Sharingan," said Kakashi. "Normally? Explain yourself, Hatake," said the Raikage, as he too knew about the general information on the Sharingan. "There is another level for that dojutsu, the Mangekyou Sharingan. I don't know about Uchiha Sasuke, but it's pretty certain that his elder brother, Itachi, has reached that level. I won't be surprised if he had something in his arsenal to ensnare people of higher caliber," said Kakashi. "I suppose you yourself has reached that level, if you're here to talk about it," said A. Kakashi looked towards Navi as she nodded. "Yes, Raikage Dono, I did. Mine is not fully operational though, seeing that I am not a full Uchiha. My control is somewhat lower than I like it to be." As Naruto then get back and told them how he fought against the 2 Akatsuki members and defeat the both of them, even tell them about Kakazu facing off against the first Hokage, as Snavi was surprised about that. As Konoha, well, Snavi was given custody over Hidan remains, since she was a well-known medical specialist. Her knowledge on the human body, they could extract what they could get from Hidan, not to mention the Yamanaka clan. Seeing that every information was now known, Mifune then stood up. "It seems everyone here is in agreement that Hidden Stone was being used by the terrorist group Akatsuki to defeat us. An alliance has already been formed between Kumo, Kiri, and the Sand and Konoha before the previous battle took place. With the Hidden Stone, be a part of this alliance as well, And will the members agree to it? Asks Mifune. The hidden stone requests entry into the alliance, and even if it was premeditated, I would like to offer our deepest apology for what happened during the previous meeting and the casualties that the samurai suffered in the following battle, said Kurosaki. The hidden sand agreed to the hidden stone request. Naruto vote is all I need to know, said Gaara. Kieri also agrees Akatsuki plans must not turn us against each other, said Mei. Konoha will also agree it is highly time that we put our past behind us and work towards a better future, said Tsunade. As the Raikage narrowed his eyes for a few seconds, Kumo agrees as well, he said. Effectively granted the hidden stone into the alliance. Kurosaki was happy that her grandfather's death wouldn't be meaningless. She could clear his name and get a lead on their enemies. This is a historical moment for the first time. All major shinobi nations has reached an agreement and are willing to fight as ally against a common enemy. Before we go any further though, I would like to point out for this thing to work, we need someone to lead the alliance. Someone that will inspire strength and confidence to us, said Mifune. From what I've seen on the battlefield recently, I feel like this responsibility should fall on Uzumaki-san. I know some of you may find him too young to reach such a role like this, but age has nothing to do with this, said Mifune, shocking some of the people in the room. He was the one to calm down the man when the battle shifted to the opponent's advantage. He is also the one to put an end to this by capturing the true masterminds and bringing back the new Tsuchikage with him. Finally, he's someone whose purpose to bring peace to the world. More importantly, he's someone who can inspire others to believe in that dream of his, just by talking. As Konoha, the sand, Kieri, the stone, they had nothing to say, as they believed Mifune to be right in his choice, as they were all holding Naruto in high regards for his action in the past by helping most of them. As the Raikage was still debating over this, in normal circumstances A would never allow such thing to happen, but Naruto was the son of that man, and he had a very deep respect for Minato Namikaze, and Naruto was as respectable from what he could see so far. As Naruto was a bit embarrassed and everyone was looking up to him, as the Raikage agreed as well, all of them agreeing. As Naruto knew that they expected some speech. I am honored, he said, to have been tasked to control the combined forces of the alliance. I think that our first priority is to locate and protect the last Jinchuriki. The younger brother of the Raikage announced Naruto. A knew that he made the right choice now when he accepted Naruto as a leader. Moments later, why not, damn it, the Raikage said. There is no evidence that your brother is in the hidden ring, Raikage Dano. It is unwise to charge into unknown territory, even with our combined force. We do not know for sure who is leading that village nowadays. If it's not Hanzo, it is someone strong. As you remember in the past, when she, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru went up against Hanzo, and he was able to defeat the three of them when they were in their primes back then. What are your opinions on the hidden ring, Tsuchikage? Kazekage Naruto asks. It is the same as with you guys, their borders are completely closed, so no one has went into their territory, said the Tsuchikage, as Gaara said a similar answer. With everything we have so far, it's my opinion we should not act on base suspicions. Do not misunderstand me, Raikage. I also have issues with the hidden ring. My sensei was murdered there after all. But it's also true that he illegally crossed your borders. Everyone has to understand that the alliance and my goal is to bring peace to this world. We cannot start a war just like that, otherwise we're not better than the Akatsuki. And this is not the message we want to pass on to the world, said Naruto. Then what do you propose we do in that case, Naruto-kun? Asked me. Not caring if everyone heard that she added the suffix Naruto name, as Naruto had to calm Natsuki down, as she was really not fond of me and her teasing on Naruto. Well, said Naruto, I suppose we could. He then suddenly stopped, as he stood up along with Yujito and Gaara, as everyone was confused. What is it, Naruto? Asked Natty. Yokai, a lot of it. And it's growing. It's growing. As Naruto turned his head, it's not far from here. A Jinchuriki is fighting nearby. As Yujito and Gaara also felt as well. If that is my brother, the Raikage says he stood up, I'm going. I'll go too. I'm the one with the most experience against Akatsuki, and you will need me to locate the source of the yokai. As Yujito got up, A looked towards her. You're not coming, he said. But he looked at her with a stern look. You are not coming, he told her. As Naruto turned his head towards Tsunade, he may have been placed on top of the Alliance forces, but Tsunade was still the Hokage and someone he truly respected. As she nodded at him, as Naruto nodded back, as the two men took off in a blur, as Naruto followed the trail of yokai as the Raikage moved behind him. Earlier, with Killer Bee, he was visiting a friend of his, inside the Land of Iron, where the Kage's meeting was being held. as they were currently inside of a forest, talking about different topics. The friend he was visiting was a man named Sabu. He was a short, middle-aged man, as he had a large axe and he has a raccoon following everywhere, a rather large raccoon by the name of Panda. As B and the man was talking, two people then appear. "Oh, it's you again, Fishman. I guess the little present I left you wasn't good enough for you and your friends," said B, as he saw Itachi and Kisame. "Don't worry, Octopus. We will verify the body that we're taking in this time," said Kisame with a smirk as Itachi remained silent. Before they could say anything, the raccoon charged towards the Akashic Pier. Sabu was too late to stop his partner, as Kisame draws Samihata. As Kisame swings Samihata right into Panda, he was unable to make Kisame's strength as he was sent sailing and he smashed through several trees before coming to a stop. As Sabu dashed for his giant axe, Itachi activated his Sharingan. As the both of their eyes locked, as the man then collapsed on the ground as B rushed forward. "Now that the interference is gone, can we start?" said Kisame, as Samihata's scales extended, ripping through the bandages. "I can't fight the both of them here. If I do, Sambu and Panda will get caught in the explosion." "Well, I'm their target, they will come after me," B thought, as he decided to run in the opposite direction and put some distance, as Itachi and Kisame immediately chased after him. As he ran away for a long distance before coming to a stop, he then turned to face his enemies. "Are you ready to come with us? We will not put you through unneeded pain if you decide to follow us without resisting," said Itachi. B threw all of his swords up in the air before cutting all of them as he took a strange stance with all of them around his body. Before he leaped off in a spinning motion, its blades whistling through the air. "Kisame, we don't have time to waste. The Kage meeting is being held not too far away from here. We can't afford them to get caught up in this. We will both attack him together." Kisame nods as he launched forward with Samihata, clashing with B. As the both of them started to clash with each other, Kisame moving around, sweeping past B attacks, but B managed to slip through his guard and slice him right on his shoulder as he drive a foot right in Kisame's stomach, knocking him away. As B knew that something was wrong, his swords were charged with lightning chakra and it didn't go straight through the man's body. It seemed like the lightning was absorbed. B then had to spin as he blocked the shuriken as he turned, but his eyes met with Itachi's as he caught himself in a whirl, with spikes being stabbed right into his limbs. As B then collapsed down, Itachi then moved forward to take him down, but B's eyes snapped open. "Lariat," he said, as he tried to attack Itachi's right arm, encasing yokai. As Itachi moved at the last moment so the hit won't be critical, but he was still sent sailing backwards as it didn't affect him as much as we wanted though, as he flipped and landed. "How?" Itachi said. "I'm sure I caught you in my genjutsu. I'm a host with perfect control. You can't capture me unless you conquer me as a full Jinjuliki," he said. "Now die," as he jumped down towards Itachi with his blade extended. Before he could attack Itachi, Kisame's feet planted into his side, knocking him away. As Kisame had taken off his coat, as his shoulder was already healed up. As Kisame then dashed after B and released a jutsu, as he fired out a massive amount of water from his own mouth, as the water took the shape of a giant bubble. Once he got enough distance away from Itachi, as he trapped B and Kisame inside of it, Kisame then fused with Samihata. As B watched as he still had his yokai cloak on, his transformation and sword's powers, he intended to find me in this water prison. He will most likely have the ability to breathe underwater, given all the way he looks. "I won't last long if I stay under here," said B, as he started to draw on more of the Bichu's power. As B realized too late every time he moved, and when Kisame was on his tail, the water bubble was moving as well. B stood no chance, as Kisame was moving like a speed demon underwater, tearing through B's defenses like it was nothing. As B cloak, he lost it all around him, as bubbles came from his mouth. As Kisame smirked as he undid the transformation, B was now flat on the ground, out of chakra or stamina, as he started to lose consciousness. As Kisame slowly returned back normal as he was walking towards B with a wicked grin on his face. "It seems like I wasn't able to get away after all," said B. As Kisame looked at him before he heard "Lariat!" as a lightning arm appeared right in front of Kisame's throat. A split second after that, a bright white flash illuminated the area. As Kisame felt two arms pressed behind his back, as Naruto smashed into Kisame from behind, holding him good, using his wind to keep up the momentum, as the Raikage force ripped right through Kisame's neck, tearing off his head. Not caring for the victim, as the Raikage rushed to check on his brother, he was relieved to see that he was just unconscious. As Naruto took Kisame's head and sealed it away as well. I will take this for my increase in collection if you don't mind, Raikage Dono said Naruto with a smile, as A only chuckled at the light joke, as he picked up his brother's body and threw it over his shoulder. But guys, we'll be ending this episode right here. If you want the next part, if you already know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was given a second chance, and enjoy that, guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.